Hello everyone, welcome to the first Purple Penny coin news video of 2024. My name's Mark. I own and run, along with my wife Catherine, the Purple Penny, which is a small coin and banknote dealer in the northern suburbs of Adelaide. We've been here since May 2019, so we're just coming up to our 5th birthday. We've been shut for a week and a half, had some time away from the shop and time away from work, which means that Catherine is in the room over there catching up with the mail. It was quite a quiet period over Christmas and New Year for our website. We haven't put anything new up on the website for a few weeks, but there should be some new stuff appearing today and tomorrow and the day after, so do keep your eye out. The shop reopens tomorrow for New Year trading. I'll just say a few hellos here. Hello John, hello Greg, hello Monica and Gary, good to see you watching live. Hello Peter and hello Ray, how are you going? Right, so first video of the year means that usually the Royal Australian Mint announces their mintmark dollar, and we'll get on to that. They did do that. Something's popped up. We're going to be closed next Wednesday, and there won't be a video next week, unfortunately. These things happen, but we'll be back the week after as normal, so we will be closed next Wednesday. Peter Andrews, who's watching here today, has released the latest edition of Independent Coin News, which is a excellent online-only coin magazine with a focus on Australian coins. Many pages in the last release, and there's some good articles on mint rolls if you're wondering about what mint rolls are and what different types of rolls there are and how to collect them and how those rolls have changed over the years. Then jump onto Facebook and search up Independent Coin News, join the Independent Coin News Facebook page, and you'll get a link to the newsletter. There's also a small article in there that Peter asked us a few questions about counterfeit 1928 shillings as well, which was quite interesting to revisit that topic. So Independent Coin News, get onto it, get onto Facebook and have a look. Now, I have noticed quite a lot of questions popping up on various Facebook pages about why the Mint isn't making a mint and proof set this year, and of course they are going to. They just haven't announced it yet. They obviously are still coping with the changeover of portrait and then the demand on products and all the other things that must be going on in the background. It will happen. As always, there will be huge demand for the set when it's first released. The Mint will probably have production problems. The prices will go up, but of course usually mint and proof sets are available on and off throughout the year. I will just advise patience about those because I'm sure that they will appear. We don't have any news about them, and not even any news I can't share with you, but I'm sure that they will certainly happen at some point. I've just got a few more hellos here. Hello Gemma, Charles, Powell, Angela, Michelle, Catherine is watching. Thank you, Catherine, for saying hello. Wendy and hi Gary is watching, and Mike. Sorry, just Jason and Patrick. Right, so if I've missed you, I do apologise if I've missed your name there. Right, the end of the year, usually for the last few years anyway, the Mint has a draw for people who show up at the Mint and gives you the opportunity to strike the last mint mark dollar of the year in the gallery press, and then the next day on New Year's Day they usually have a line-up and give people the opportunity to be one of the first 100 to strike the new mint mark dollar for the year. And the person who is chosen number one gets a proof version of that coin, I believe, and a handsome certificate. Many years ago, Catherine and I lined up on January the 1st and were, I don't know, 8th or 9th in line or something. And then, of course, it got competitive and people started showing up 2 and 3 days in advance and keeping places in lines like all these things always do. So the news that I read suggested that a few hundred people showed up before 8:30, and the Mint worked their way down the line and handed out tickets to everyone who was there at 8:30, and they did a draw for the winner of the competition, so that way I guess you didn't have to get there at 3 a.m. to be first in line. There was a draw. Funnily enough, the person that they drew wasn't there and didn't get to win the prize, so they did a redraw, and Izzy Zaharis, who you can see a picture of there, she was chosen to strike the first coin and got a certificate and got a proof version of the coin. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'd been waiting there and I'd got a raffle ticket and I need to go to the loo, I'd just cross my legs and hold on if I knew the draw was coming up. So I guess commiserations to that person who missed out, whoever that is, and well done to Izzy for winning the redraw. So the theme of the coin this year is celebrating Australia's space industry, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, the only thing I know about Australia's space industry is the movie The Dish, where they had something to do with the moon landing. I'm sure some people here will be able to share more information about Australia's space industry. I guess from a coin collecting point of view, there's a couple of interesting things. One is it's always good to know what the mintmark dollar is this year. I suspect, as usual, this coin will be released in a 4-coin mintmark privy mark set. There's no announcement on that yet, and you can of course go into the gallery at the Mint and strike your own for some fee. As a coin collector, it's interesting because it's the first coin struck by the Royal Australian Mint for collectors that has King Charles III's portrait on it, and you can see Izzy there standing in front of the obverse of that coin. And I believe, and I haven't seen any pictures of the packaging, I believe the packaging is a little bit different as well. It's a different format to what we've seen previously. Catherine mentioned last night that it looked a bit like the $2 mintmark packaging that folded in thirds, but I haven't seen that, so I'll just trust her for that particular bit of news. Now, I've given up tracking the price of the 35th anniversary $2 sets because I don't care anymore. There will be a lot more available when the Mint does their ballot through the EQL system. Now, Peter Andrews, who is here, hang on a second, let's just have a look at some comments here before I move on to the next thing. Thank you, Detlef, Happy New Year to you too. Yes, Peter, she does look happy. Hi Stephen, thank you. Monica is asking, will you be selling those space coins? Well, if the 4-coin set is being released, then yes, absolutely we will be. The loose coins from the gallery press, we rely on one of our kids who lives in Canberra to go to the Mint and get some for us. So they will be available on and off during the year as we manage to source them. We don't get them directly from the Mint, they aren't a wholesale product. Hello Cameron. Peter says, according to the currency determination, there are about 10 different Mint privy versions of that coin. So, okay, so Catherine's saying that the package doesn't fold in thirds, it folds in halves. So, which one folded in halves? Catherine, if you could just comment down below about which $2 mintmark folds in halves. I think the repatriation one did, and some of those later ones. So, thanks for that, Kath. Peter says, according to the currency determination, there are about 10 different mintmark privy versions of that coin. So what Peter's saying there is that the coin could potentially appear with various mintmarks and privy marks on it. A mintmark usually on a coin in Australia is a raised letter. A privy mark is usually an incused letter in a square surround. Now, why does the Mint do that? In the past, it's for a couple of reasons. One is that they might release the mintmark dollar in a couple of forms of packaging. One with mint marks on it and one with privy marks on it, and that's a conversation that Catherine and I had this morning about how they've done that before in the past. The other reason is that they may produce a version for different ANDA shows or different coin shows where the mint actually takes their portable press and strikes the coins with different marks. So I suspect they're probably just hedging their bets there about some different products that they could release, but that is an interesting observation. Thank you for that, Peter. Right, the $2 35th anniversary prices. Again, thanks to Peter Andrews for tracking the prices of these, because I've stopped doing it. Now, we've got a lovely graph here, if we can just bring it up. So there's the graph there of week by week sales prices on eBay for the 35th anniversary set. And you can see there that it has pretty much settled now to between $300 and $400. I've seen them selling for $320 to $375. Seems to be a fairly consistent range. I am a little surprised by that. I thought it would have continued to drop because of the upcoming ballot, and I'm also seeing quite a few people who are managing to secure one from post offices and places like that as their stock slowly dribbles out to smaller LPOs and things like that. So it has settled between $300 and $400, and thank you, Peter, for tracking that for us. I don't know if you're going to do another edition of that graph, Peter, but it'll be interesting to see if it does go down. Right, next bit of news was some Indian labourers in northwestern India who were demolishing a colonial era house, and they found 240 sovereigns in the demolition process. Took the sovereigns and it was discovered that those sovereigns had been misappropriated. The police has arrested the labourers and their families. They've recovered 199 of the sovereigns from 2 different homes. The other 41 coins seem to have been sold. Someone has a shiny new motorbike, someone else has a nicely renovated house, and someone else has some new farm equipment. So you can see the 4 people that were arrested there. According to the news article, they were all George V sovereigns, which today have a sort of a minimum value of about $170,000 in gold value alone. The owner of the house doesn't live in India. He lives in the UK, and he's making his way back to India now to recover his sovereigns and see what can be done about recovering value for the rest of them. So quite a remarkable find there, 240 sovereigns found in a demolition. Now, what made me think about this is that we probably once or twice a month get people in here who work for demolition companies, and they bring in stuff that they find when they're demolishing houses, and I guess the ownership of those things is a bit up in the air, whether the demolition company has a contract that says anything they find they can keep, or whether there's something else that goes along with that. It's a bit of the law that I don't really know anything about, but it looks like in India, if you find 240 sovereigns, you don't keep them. Now, I suspect that here in Australia, if it's something worth a few $100, there wouldn't be any fuss about it, but if they did find out that someone had found something worth 200 grand, then it would be a different matter. Next item in the news was some silver coins found in the UK, in the county of Cumbria, and there were only four coins found and 2 cut coins, so just 6 items. Now, you would know that in the UK, if you find items of a certain age, of a certain number and comprising a certain amount of precious metal, then they have to be declared to the government. You can't just appropriate them. So I believe if it's three or more items, they contain 10% or more precious metal, and they're more than 300 years old, then if you find those items metal detecting, then you need to declare those to the government. And each find is evaluated by a coroner. So yes, a coroner, like the person who investigates people passing away. And the coroner decides whether those items are declared as treasure or not. And once they are declared as treasure, government institutions can choose to obtain them and pay for them, and then the finder and the landowner gets to split those proceeds. If the government bodies decide that they don't want them, then they're given back to the person who finds them to sell and split the proceeds. That process can take many months and years even. So this gentleman here had found 6 full coins or parts of coins in early 2022, so that's now 2 years ago now, and they all date to the reign of King Ethelred, which you can see the dates there. And the history associated with these coins is interesting. The mintages during Ethelred were quite high, and the reason for that is that he was paying off the Vikings. So the Vikings were in sort of the midst of their invasion of England, and Ethelred tried to keep the peace by paying ransoms and bribes and things like that to the Vikings, and as such these coins are not uncommon. And it's interesting to speculate whether these 6 coins here, which weren't too far away from a Viking settlement, were perhaps buried to protect them from the Vikings, or were buried by a Viking as part of a bribe that he or she had received. Now, I don't have a topic of the day today, but Catherine had, and I don't know if she's listening, if she wants to come in and share any information with us, but she had these out on the bench last night, on the kitchen bench at home. This is Catherine's 1966 decimal changeover glass collection. And the reason that she had this out is that a couple of weeks ago we had a gentleman here that came into the shop, and he is a collector of what he calls promotional glassware. So this is vintage glassware that has some sort of promotional graphics on the side of it, and he is the editor, I guess, of the Australian catalogue of promotional glassware. And the catalogue itself was many hundreds of pages long, and Catherine of course asked him about, no, let me rephrase that. He had a 1966 decimal glass to give to Catherine, and she said, oh, I collect those. So there was one page in this very thick catalogue to deal with decimal changeover glassware, and he kindly supplied us with a copy of that page, and Catherine got out her glasses last night just to run through and check them. Now, it's really interesting because we think of coin collecting as a big hobby, and of course it is, but there are many other hobbies, and you don't need to just stick to coin collecting. Catherine has branched out into 1966 decimal changeover memorabilia, and glasses are a small part of that, and you can see there that she has many dozens of them. Now, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but there are 3 main designs. There's the decimal changeover glass there that you can see on the top left of the top photo, and then there's the various glasses that have the coins on them, which you can see in the middle on the top right of the top photo. And then there's also a range of glasses that have dollar bill on them, and dollar bill was the mascot of decimal changeover. So there's 3 main designs, and then they all come in 3 or 4 different colours, and then they all come in 2 different sizes as well. Well, let me rephrase that. 2 of them come in 2 different sizes. The decimal changeover tables glasses seem to only come in 1 size. So Catherine went through her collection last night and realised that she was missing 1 or 2, and then she had 1 or 2 that weren't in the catalogue. And if you're wondering what those boxes are behind the glasses, they are timber crates that were used in 1966 to transport rolls of coins to banks. So they're decimal currency boxes that were used by the Royal Australian Mint to ship rolls of new decimal coins out to banks. So quite a fascinating little part of Catherine's collection there. One thing that we did learn, because we believed that these were called swanky swigs, which was a nickname for this sort of promotional glass, and the gentleman told us that no, they're not called swanky swigs because they are not made by a particular manufacturer, they're made by someone else, and no one actually knows who they're made by. So these are promotional glasses to do with 1966 decimal changeover. And interestingly, I believe that 2 of the orange decimal glasses that you can see in the top photo there came, and they were still in the original cardboard packaging. So Catherine has the cardboard packaging stored somewhere else as well. So quite an interesting little sub collection there of Catherine's. And I just wanted to share something that I got for my for Christmas from Catherine. This is just a little area of my collecting. I sort of collect a few what's called return fobs, and return fobs were given to World War I Australian soldiers by local organisations or local councils. I've seen them presented by local councils. I've seen them presented by Masons lodges. I've seen them presented by community associations. So Catherine bought me that one up the top there, and I guess you could call it a return fob, but in reality what it is a memorial fob that was probably presented to that soldier's mother, because unfortunately he was killed in France. So what makes these two fobs interesting is that they have enamel on them, and the enamel has the patch of the unit that the gentleman belonged to. The fobs are usually standard designs. There's a whole range of standard designs that must have been getting made back then, and the organisation would purchase them, have them engraved, and then present them to the soldier. Most of the time they were presented in, from 1919 through to 1923 or 24. They're all the dates that I've seen on them. I've seen them made from base metal, but mostly they're made from 9-carat gold. So these two here are 9-carat gold. They're quite scarce, you don't see them very often, and I suspect that's because a lot of them were melted down during the Depression when people needed money. So that's a little area of collecting that I like. I don't have many of these, they're too expensive and I can't afford to buy them very often. But I do like the ones that have the enamel on them, and I do like the ones, of course, that have South Australian interest, which the one up the top there does. Right, that's all I've got for today. Let's have a look at some questions here. Hello Tanya, how are you? Hello Jason. Jason says that those silver coins were called Danegeld, and of course Danegeld is money paid to the Danes. Hello Ronalyn, how are you? Monica says that they just got rid of their glasses in the Lifeline shop, but nothing like those. Gary had some from his mum's in the early 1960s. So the decimal glasses, Monica, Catherine's picked them up everywhere over the years, off of Facebook Marketplace, in second-hand shops, in antique shops, from coin shops. Because a lot of people know she collects 1966 decimal stuff, she'll get contacted by other coin dealers and people like that who come across them. So it's like everything in life, you have to look everywhere to be able to find them, and you might not find one for 6 months and you might find two in a month. It's an interesting way of collecting, and I guess one of the advantages of having many areas of collecting is that you're always looking for something. Mike says we should show the glasses to Channel 7 and they'll be worth $1 million. No, I don't think we'll do that. Patrick says, what time do you open on a Thursday? We're open from 10 till 4 on Thursdays, Patrick. Ian says, I bet they weren't made in China. Don't know. There's no made in on them. The packaging that we have is printed here in Australia. I do know that. And Peter says the enamel off of the fobs used to chip off fairly easily. Yes, it does. Wendy says the fobs are stunning. The intricate details, they are very well made. So that's it for the first video for the year. I look forward to doing many more. As always, if you have anything you'd like us to talk about, please ask us when you come in for a visit. Send us an email, give us a call, send us a Facebook message, whatever you'd like to do. Always looking for things to talk about. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and New Year. I know I certainly did. I hope Catherine did too. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching today. No video next week. Something has cropped up and we won't be open next Wednesday the 10th, but the shop does open as normal tomorrow. Look forward to the new year. Happy New Year everyone, take care. Bye for now, happy collecting.